This is for the lead. Oh, he put it in!
The Los Angeles Clippers are on a roll right now as arguably the best team in the entire NBA. All thanks to none other than James Harden. No one is saying that Beard is now the best player on the Clippers lineup, because he isn't close to being the best on that star-studded roster. But his arrival in LA has transformed the Clippers into a legitimate title-contending team that could very well rival the best that the NBA has to offer. He was the missing piece that the Clippers needed to take the team to the next level. Harden may no longer be at the prime of his career as one of the best offensive players in NBA history, but he has been the key to the run that the Clippers have been on. Now, let's find out how the Beard unleashed the Clippers.
Down to three, down to two, it's a three. Good! Good!
As one of the most polarizing players in the history of the game, James Harden is undoubtedly an offensive juggernaut. During his prime years, he could average more than 30 points a game while dishing out 10 dimes to his teammates. As the sole system player of the Houston Rockets during the majority of the 2010s, Harden always needed the ball in his hands at the top of the key to make a play. He could drive to the hoop to draw a foul, make a layup, or attract defenders before passing the ball. But he could also step back and hit a three-pointer over any defender. It goes without saying that his years with the Rockets unleashed his offensive capabilities as one of the most gifted offensive players in the history of the game. But he never won a championship during his prime years with both the Houston Rockets and the Brooklyn Nets. He eventually found himself playing alongside Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers, but he couldn't win a title with that team as well. Early in the 2023-24 season, Harden maneuvered a trade that forced the Sixers to ship him over to the West Coast so that he could be a Clipper. He wanted out of Philadelphia because of his deteriorating relationship with the front office. Of course, he also wanted to return to his old stomping grounds in LA, where he joined a loaded Los Angeles Clippers team that already had Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and Russell Westbrook. Back in 2019, the Clippers made headlines when they announced that Kawhi would be joining them after winning a championship in his lone season in Toronto.
Third quarter. Oh, it's a punch from Kawhi Leonard. It's the seventh turnover for the Raptors. Lob to PG. Oh, a bird's eye view.
But the condition was for the Clippers to make a trade for Paul George. Of course, LA made a move to acquire PG-13 from the OKC Thunder to please Leonard. When this duo was formed, it was supposed to break the NBA because Leonard and George are two of the greatest two-way wings in the NBA. They can score from anywhere on the floor and shut down some of the best opposing perimeter players in the league. However, nothing came out of this duo because the farthest they were able to get was the Western Conference Finals in 2021. The Clippers have yet to win a championship with Kawhi and PG leading them, and it has a lot to do with the fact that the two superstars haven't always been healthy and available. Last year, the Clippers made a move to acquire Russell Westbrook, who wasn't having a good season with the LA Lakers. Acquiring Brody allowed the Clippers to finally have a good point guard who could take the playmaking pressure off Kawhi and PG. But because of injuries once more, the Clippers got booted out of the first round in the 2023 playoffs. But the acquisition of James Harden early in the 2023-24 season raised a lot of eyebrows.
On the break, back to Zoo. Oh, my goodness!
There were plenty of reasons to believe that he wasn't going to work well with the Clippers. He wasn't exactly someone who had a good track record with front offices and teammates alike after forcing trades from the Rockets, the Nets, and the Sixers. The Clippers also already had a point guard who needed the ball in his hands. While Westbrook and Harden worked well together in OKC and Houston in the past, the problem was that they also had to share the rock with Kawhi and PG. It looked like the experiment was not going to work when the Clippers lost the first 5 games that Harden played. They looked like a mess out there on the floor. But ever since the Clippers decided to bring Westbrook off the bench, things started clicking for them. Harden eventually unleashed the Clippers offense. At one stretch, the Clippers won 25 of their last 30 games and are now arguably the hottest team in the entire league. This season, the Los Angeles Clippers are 8th in points scored per game and 2nd in offensive rating, despite one of the slowest paces in the NBA. That means that the team has been doing a great job at handling its half-court offense. Of course, the one setting the offense up was none other than the bearded one. Harden was always a talented player. Sure, he no longer has that explosive first step that made his drives to the basket dangerous. His diminished athleticism and explosiveness have made his offense and step-back jumpers more predictable.
Great win, no way.
But he can still score when he needs to, especially because he still has that sweet-looking jump shot from beyond the arc. However, the most important part of his offense is his playmaking. His talent as a passer has made the Clippers much more efficient on the offensive end, especially whenever he was the one handling the ball. LA did a great job at relegating Russ to the sixth-man role so that Harden no longer needs to share possessions with him on the same starting lineup. With Harden running the point, the two most important players on the team can have an easier time on the offensive end. Kawhi Leonard is one of the most dangerous scorers in the league because he can shoot from anywhere on the field, post up smaller defenders, and finish strong near the basket. With Kawhi focusing more on picking his spots instead of actually handling the ball and creating open opportunities for himself, his already efficient offense went to the next level. Leonard has been averaging a career high in true shooting percentage, which is the greatest measure when it comes to a player's shooting efficiency. He has been taking more shots near the paint and has converted more than 80% of his field goals within 3 feet from the basket.
Is this the dagger?
Not even centers like Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic convert 80% of their shots from that distance. Then there's Paul George, who used to be the Clippers' primary playmaker before Westbrook and Harden came along. While PG can make plays for others, he's always been better off shooting the ball and defending opposing perimeter players. For the first time in 3 seasons, he has been converting over 40% from the three-point line, primarily because he no longer has to make plays for others. Instead, he can focus on getting open because he knows that Harden will find him. His true shooting percentage this season is also a career high for him now that he can focus on shooting and scoring. Harden's presence as a scorer also makes life easier for everyone else on this Clippers roster.
Down to 3, down to 2, it's a 3. Good!
He may be a pass-first guard at this point in his career, but he can still generate offense whenever he's left open. The fear of Harden going for 30 points at any given moment is enough for teams to stay honest on defense. So, instead of doubling any of the 3 stars on the floor, most teams opt to play single coverage on them. But let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet. Remember that this is just the regular season. Everyone has seen the Beard averaging 30 points and 10 assists in the regular season, only for him to go for stinkers during the playoffs. The increased physicality and intensity of the postseason have never been easy on Harden's playing style. This is the exact reason why he often disappears during the playoffs and hasn't won a championship in his career. The Clippers do have Kawhi, who has always been one of the greatest playoff performers in the modern era. With Leonard mostly healthy this season because of the decreased load on his injury-prone body, he may just be enough to cover Harden's usual playoff disappearances. But at the same time, the fact that Kawhi and PG have been incredibly efficient this season could also allow Harden to have more freedom to score in the playoffs now that defenses are more concerned with the 2 All-Stars going for 30 points in the blink of an eye. In short, the Beard's presence has been a boost to the efficiency of the Clippers' best players because he takes so much pressure off of them. It's been a win-win situation for everyone on the roster so far, including Westbrook, who has been thriving off the bench. But the ultimate test has always been the postseason. Anything short of a championship at the end of the season would be a failure for this loaded Clippers team.